Hello, Chargers fans, and welcome to another episode of ChargersCast. It is week 3 of the 2025 season, and in this episode, we are going to cover the week 2 Monday night football game against the hated Oakland/Los Angeles, former now Las Vegas Raiders. And then we are going to roll into week 3, which will be the third division game in a row as we have our home opener this Sunday at SoFi against the Donkeys. So let's get into this Monday night football game. The Chargers, let's just go right for the gusto. 2-0, 2 road games, 2 division road games to start the season, and last night's Monday night football game was for sole possession of first place in the AFC West between us and the Raiders because the Donkeys lost on Sunday and the Chiefs got spanked again by the Eagles. So they've lost their last 3 games in a row. Eagles, Chargers, Eagles. I don't know if it gets any more beautiful than this, but it was a heck of a game last night. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and we'll get into the details on it. But first, as you guys can see, I am joined once again by my buddy, friend of the podcast, owner and social media extraordinaire of Chargers District, Brennan Isham. Brennan, good to see you, my friend. What are you thinking about our boys being 2-0 in 2 statement games, division wins?
Yeah, dude. Well, it was good seeing you. It was a really good game last night. I really liked being able to say we won 2 divisional games in a row, especially with the turnaround from going to Brazil to Las Vegas, not having true home games yet. And then we have another divisional game. So 2-0 feels really nice, especially the way we performed both games. I kind of feel like those 2 games already, I didn't really worry. I'm going to be honest. I didn't worry. I feel like we controlled both of those games in a good fashion. So I feel like this 2-0 is good. It's not like we just scraped by or had to come back from something and barely won. They were 2 good statement wins, showing our defense really well and our offense starting to kick it up, especially from last year.
Yeah, I would say, our defense played better than offense is probably the first thing I would say. Not that our offense played bad, but I think our offense has a lot more room to grow, and our defense too. But early on, our offense started off a little slow, and being Chargers fans, as long as we've been Chargers fans, we've seen that story before, where we start off slow with an opponent we think we should beat, and the next thing you know, we keep them in the game, the whole game, and then we lose on a damn field goal at the last minute or something. And so it was nice after those first couple series to see the offense get going and put some points up. I was a little disappointed we only got 3 on that first possession when we got that interception on the first play of the game, and we're set up already in field goal range, and we didn't move the damn ball. We got it at the 25, we moved it to the 20, and had to kick a field goal. Now, if you ever ask me before we ever start a game if they'll spot us 3 points, if I'll take it, hell yeah, I'll take the free 3 points. But that was, again, one of those where you just, Chargers fans, you're like, oh shit, that's going to come back and bite us in the ass, right? And then the only other time I was nervous in the game was when we were trying to run out the clock. We've got the lead, pretty nice leads, 2-score lead, and Hampton fumbles on the first play. Max Crosby, still Max Crosby, man. You got to give that guy all the props he deserves. He just was beating our tight ends on those running plays almost every play, and O'Marion fumbled. And so that one made me a little nervous. I'm like, there's too much time on the clock for this lead if all of a sudden they get clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully for us, they didn't. But it feels really good to be 2-0, 2-0 in the division, and heading into another division game next week, which I think we've got an excellent chance to win this game. Is it a guarantee? Heck no. Any given Sunday, you know that. That's my mantra, right? From last season. Any given Sunday, any team can beat another team if they don't come in and take care of their business and execute. But feels really good to get those 2 division wins and head into the third one. And my, oh my, if we get 3 in a row in our division to start off the season, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think so too, because divisional wins, especially for postseason and like at the end of the year, are very, very important because it can decide the division and just decide placement, all that good stuff. So if we can go 3-0 and possibly get even 1 or 2 more, that's like possibly a 4-2 divisional record. So that would be really nice because that's pretty hard to do in a division, especially in our division. So that would be really nice if we could get that Denver win. But kind of transitioning through, I wanted to say, like, from last pod, the 3-headed monster of that offense was there again. So when it comes to the receiver corps, so QJ, Keenan Allen, and Ladd, so those guys killed it again. I feel like it is so hard to defend all 3 of those guys on the field. And it just shows so much because every time they're on the field, we're just driving down the field and most likely get a touchdown. That, like that 60-yard bomb was a beauty. So I love how it's coming together because last year it was just Ladd, and only Ladd. So
Ladd and a few Disleys here and there.
Yeah. So.
Right. Oh, by the way, before we get too much further into it, this week we're just going to do a very nice, probably one of my favorites, just a nice Modelo Especial lager. Again, just as you can tell, my voice will get harsh if I don't keep it lubricated. So this is a necessity, that and for spirit as well, because I could be drinking water or soda, but I prefer not to. Soda's not good for you. So this is good for your spirit. Yeah, our receivers, man. I think having Ladd and Keenan on the field at the same time is so difficult for defenders. And they were talking about that a little bit last night's telecast. And I think it's really going to help QJ because the defenders are going to be freaking out so much about how to defend Ladd and Keenan that I think QJ's always pretty much going to have single coverage. And with his speed, if he's, keeps stretching the field like that, when he breaks off those slants, those guys aren't going to know who's coming and who's going, which is going to make life really, really nice for Justin.
Yeah, that's pulling up some stats here. Quentin Johnston, again, 3 receptions, 71 yards. The average was 23 because of that 60-yard bomb and a touchdown. Yeah. So compared to last year, you can already tell, this is obvious, but you can already tell it is such a different QJ from last year. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just still the consistency. I feel like he got out of his head a little bit more, which is good because he was in his head too much, and it can happen to players and just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. So it's good to see him. He was a first-round pick, so it's good to see him actually coming out to be a decent first-round pick now because once he was able to pick it up, it really helped the receiver core being like, okay, maybe we don't need a trade for that star receiver anymore. Maybe we don't need to get another guy in free agency because what QJ's doing right now, Keenan and Ladd, I don't really see a purpose for anybody else since we have 2 rookies that are only going to get better. on top of our tight ends.
Yeah, I think both of those rooks are special, and it's going to be real interesting to see how they develop as the season goes on. It looks like they're trying to get them involved in the game a little bit, but it's really hard when you've got those first three as wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. So those guys hopefully will be patient because they're only going to get sprinkled in here or there unless somebody goes down. Knock on wood, we don't have that happen. But in case somebody goes down, those guys are going to be role players this season as rooks. But in the preseason, and training camp, you can see their skill set. So, yeah, I think we've got a pretty special room there. But I'm telling you, man, Keenan and Ladd on the field at the same time is a nightmare for defenses, is an absolute nightmare. Not because they're, two Malik Neighbors or, two pick any star receiver you want to pick, go back in time, Jerry Rice or Terrell Owens or whomever. These guys are immaculate route runners, very cerebral players. Obviously Keenan's got however many years now, 10, 11, 12 years of experience. And how do you cover these guys, especially when they're running games like they were running last night? They did a pretty good job on the telecast of really showing the routes and going, yeah, when Ladd runs here, it clears this open and Keenan knows he can stop right there. And there's just a big window, or Keenan does this and Ladd can cross over. Now all of a sudden, there's a deep third that he's just like running free. There was one play last night where if Justin had seen it, it was a for sure touchdown. Ladd was streaking into the open, but Justin got pressure and dumped it off to the other side and it was incomplete or something. But keep an eye as the season goes on and G-Row gets comfortable with these guys. But what you can see from our guys, all of them, Justin, QJ, Ladd in particular, and Keenan's just a savvy vet. So, he understands the concepts no matter what you call them. But these other guys, it's their second year in the same system. And so G-Row's getting used to them. They're getting used to him, getting used to his play calling. And QJ, I think he's just finally getting comfortable in his skin. He's not worried that, oh shit, they're going to dump me tomorrow if I have another drop. It's like, no, Harbs is really good at just like, no, I've got full confidence in you. You'll be fine. You just keep firing away. Just keep firing away. And your natural ability is going to take over. And I think we're starting to see that. And I think he's worked hard on being a better receiver. He dropped one last night, but it was kind of a difficult ball. It wasn't the best ball from Justin.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. They, like I said earlier, was way better than it was last year. I can tell you that. It seems like we have so much more firepower on when it comes to passing attacks. But one thing I wanted to cross to, same going on the offense still, but that run game. So I know it's probably because Najee Harris, he's trying to still get back a little bit and on, get off the training wheels when it comes to playbook and getting used to the team because he missed some time. But he's clearly the better back right now. Omarion, he's a rook. So I think people might be like, oh, it's only 2 games. You can't say that. Yeah, I think people are overhyping him a little bit. I've said this since the draft. Not when it comes – I'm just saying from immediate impact. I don't think they're saying rookie of the year. I really don't see that in my opinion. I think Najee, he's the proven vet, 4,000 yards in 4 seasons, 1,000 yards every single season. You saw it last night. He they had the same amount of carries, and Najee half the time was only going down the middle, and he had 2 extra yards. So in reality, they were just putting Najee up the gut, and he was still moving. So I just think he's the more established back, and once he gets to the point where he can get 20 carries a game, I think we're going to be able to see our run open up a little more.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops, Brennan. A couple things. I believe Marion was in on more snaps, but he didn't get more carries, really, right? It was pretty even split. Now, quite a few of Najee's carries, and I don't have the exact number, came after the fumble by Hampton. You notice he was gone. Okay. He was gone, and Najee's in, and they're like, okay, vet, we're running out the clock. We need you to carry the ball and not fumble, right? And so he ended up getting the rest of the carries for the rest of the game. But valuable lessons for Hampton. I think the problem's going to be, unless we go full hardcore run game in some of these games where it's literally 3-1 run to pass, which at this point, I don't think we'll have that this season. It looks like they're really, really relying on Justin's arm, at least the first 2 weeks, right? I've been shocked that we've come out slinging it. And the only reason the play mix ended up being about 50-50 run pass is at the end of the game, we had the lead and we're trying to run out the clock. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been that close. I think it was off by one. It was like 27-26, pass to run or run to pass. It wouldn't have been that balanced if we didn't have the lead and we're trying to run out the lead. But, these backs, it takes them carries, right? That 20, 22, 25 carries to really get in a groove and wear down a defense. It's going to be really interesting to see. Number one, if I were a betting man, I would say Najee's not getting 1,000 yards this season because he's going to be splitting carries with Amarian. Are these guys going to really be able to get hot if they're splitting reps, splitting series, or, being the two-headed monster, so to speak? Is anybody going to really kind of get in that lather like a racehorse and get in a groove? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how Harbaugh and Giro work these two guys. Now, the flip side of that is they're going to be fresher because neither one of them is going to be picking up a 25 carry workload probably, unless one of the other ones goes down. But it's going to be interesting to see. I still think the philosophy is we want to run first and smack you in the mouth. It's just, I don't know, maybe they're throwing teams off early in the season. I'm really interested to see how the season evolves because that's not Harbaugh and Giro. It's not that.
Yeah, I have a couple things on that based off like the last two games. So, number one, it could be they are really just thinking that the last two games they went with the game plan and passing fit the scheme better for a possible win. They could have had that the last two games. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is good to a certain extent. They had some guys go down or lost some guys, and then the Raiders had a couple guys go down too. What I'm trying to say is they're not a Eagles dynamic cornerback room, so maybe that is why they kind of were trying to bring it passing wise. But it's going to be very interesting because I kind of like it though because we're seeing the old Herbert where he is just throwing piss missiles and it is just tons of yards. Like he already has 523 yards and like 5 touchdowns and he's killing it right now. So and unlike old Herbert with the old regimen when he was putting those numbers and still losing, but now we're winning in a good margin from these teams, beating the Chiefs, which is a really good team, and still putting up those numbers. So it's good to see, but hopefully it's not like last year with the running backs. Pretty much they were trying to go with the run, trying to go just balls to the wall with the run. Didn't quite work. I know there was some dealing with injuries here and there with Gus and all and JK, but there's so much potential with these guys. I think they could really be like a Gibbs Montgomery type of duo. Not saying like to their level, but they could definitely do some damage in my opinion. I think we just got to get it rolling hopefully I'm being optimistic where it's only been 2 games and we can get it rolling next couple games.
They will get it rolling. I mean, or put it this way, or they'll die trying, as Harbaugh likes to say, right?
Yeah.
Number one, we don't have Gibbs on our roster, right? We don't have that guy on our roster. You can make a case maybe in previous seasons we had, but that kid's fast and dynamic. But Hampton's got some of that. I think he's got more juice than Najee. As far as if he breaks it, he could break it all the way to the house. Where Najee, I don't think he's ever had that. I think as long as run his whole career is 37 yards or something, right? Hampton's got a little more juice, so we don't have to have that duo. But yes, we'll definitely have a big 1-2 punch. Both of these guys are big boys, and they'll smack you in the mouth, right? So those linebackers trying to fill the hole, they're going to pay the price. And then going back to the other thing you were touching on, previous regimes, the difference last season and this season, defense. We're really not scoring any more points. I don't think. It doesn't feel like it. I mean, we won this game 20-9, and the previous game, it was a little bit higher scoring, but we're not putting up 40, 50 burgers week in and week out. The key is we've got a defense that keeps the opposing offenses out of the end zone. Last year we were the number 1 scoring defense. Well, guess where we're at in 2 games into the season? We are number 3. And by the way, the other 2 teams ahead of us right now, I don't have them right in front of me. They're only ahead of us by half a point per game. So we keep doing what we're doing. It's very early in the season, but Jesse Minter's got these guys playing. I mean, they were going on about it. And I'm not a big Dan Orlovsky fan for a bunch of reasons, but he was going on last night, and so was what's his name, Riddick, the other guy who's a defender guy. They were going on about how this defense is just shutting it was smothering. It was from the top down, and they were smothering. They'll give you the little ticky-tack 2-3 yards all day long, and they're going to make you go the whole length of the field to score, and you're going to have 15, 16, 17 play drives. But they're not going to let you beat them, even though they let the Chiefs get us on a couple little breakdown last week. But in general, that's how Jesse Minter's played, is keep it all smothered and keep it all close to the lines. And as soon as they, run it or catch it, smother them, powder blue, rally around the ball. And it's been very, very effective. So that's the thing we've got going for us right now, is we're keeping the other team from scoring more than we are. We're not necessarily out scoring. We only scored 20 points last night. It felt like we could have easily put up 30 or more points. It didn't. It felt like that kind of game. We could have easily scored more than we did, but we had some mistakes. It wasn't the cleanest game. We had some penalties we shouldn't have had on offense. We had some few miscues, but it was pleasant to see that Pipkins wasn't a complete turnstile. They kept Justin pretty clean. I mean, he took a few sacks, took a few hits, but all in all, they kept him pretty clean, all things considered. And the one hit was kind of a dirty hit, and the guy got penalized for it, where Justin slid a little late. I mean, I understand it's hard for defenders to pull up once they're kind of committed, but man, I just about crapped my pants when I saw that guy hit Justin, and Justin's head hit the ground, and then Justin kind of go like that for a second, and then he popped back up. I'm like, oh, okay, thank God. And I was really surprised they didn't make him take a play off and go take a concussion test. I was really shocked that they didn't do that in this day and age of the NFL, that they let him stay in. But for whatever reason, they felt like he was good, and he played like he was good. But that one was kind of scary, and that was mostly on Justin and that defender.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not sure. To me, it kind of looked like he was trying to draw the penalty. Like
Oh,
it,
okay.
it kind
I
of,
don't know if I would be
it kind of
for him.
like
Harbaugh ain't gonna put up with that shit.
yeah. So like the hit, 100%. I was like, oh, but when he went like that and kind of went like this, it looked a little dramatic to me because the way he popped up and his face was like, oh, I'm good. Like so, it. Who knows? But that I was like, oh, okay, thank gosh, because I don't want to. I love Trey Lance in the preseason, but I would not want him in the regular season. I'm sorry. I want to win some games. So a healthy Justin Herbert's going to do that for us. But
Yeah.
going to the defense real quick. That was a good like segue from you. I loved the defense. Dayon Henley it's honestly making the Denzel Perryman injury a little less concerning to me because that dude is killing it. Like he's on his way to be a top 10, top 5 linebacker easily right now.
Yeah, well, and not to interrupt you, but I don't know how the hell he played yesterday. Supposedly he had like 101 temperature, and whatever stomach bug or whatever he got, dude, he played every snap. We had 70 defensive snaps. He played every snap. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Supposedly he was on the sidelines crying. He was in just so much discomfort being sick. And I think he mentioned something about like Mentor saw him on the sideline like crying. And he's like, yeah, that was my bad. I probably should have kept it in a little bit more. But he balled out, dude. I mean, yeah. Because right? We're just normal people, and we get sick, and it's like, shit, I don't even want to boot up my computer and reply to an email, and he's out here running around hitting people. Crazy.
Yeah. I really like the scheme with him, like going just like kind of being that like watcher in the middle, and once that quarterback kind of rolls out, he is right at him. I think that's like a really good detail because at first, like, I mean, this is going to be a good segue into what I'm about to say, but with Khalil Mack, his injury and his availability up in the air, just Thule and Bud isn't going to do the trick. So having Derwin James all head force and Dayon Henley coming in for reinforcements just to get another extra 1 or 2 sacks in the game, that can go a long way. So I really liked that. I really like especially with him playing, pretty sure it was the flu he was saying. So like playing at that high of a level, getting a sack, getting an interception, like he had one of his best games, and he did not, like, he was very, very ill. So that was pretty impressive. But yeah, the Khalil, I want to hear your opinions on that because it didn't look too good. But the fact that he walked out literally like 20 minutes later with the sling and looked fine, if it was that bad, I feel like he would have stayed in the locker room or went to the hospital.
Well, a couple things. Khalil is probably, and this is speculation on my part, having watched him from being a rookie in Oakland and, then going to Chicago. And he is probably one of the toughest human beings I think I've ever seen. And you could tell when he came off the field, that thing hurt like a son of a you-know-what. And we saw it. Friendly fire from Troy Dye, by the way, which, Troy's filling in really, really well for having Colson out and then Perryman now out. Colson out for the whole season, Perryman out for a few weeks, at least 3 more weeks, right? Because we did put him on IR, designated to return, so he's got at least 3 more. Yeah. And I feel pretty good with Troy there. We didn't see Wax get any reps, but I think he was active. And I'm kind of interested to see him get some reps, to be honest with you. He played really well. He earned his spot on this roster in preseason. So I don't feel like a big letdown if we end up mixing him in with Troy and getting Troy some breathers. But regarding Khalil, it did not look good. At first, I thought he might have broken his forearm. But then when they showed the replays back, I'm like, no, that's a dislocated elbow. And then the more I looked at it, it didn't look like it dislocated like backwards that way. It looked like it dislocated more that way, which is probably better. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one like on TV, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say if it dislocated that way, it's better than dislocating full backwards, like hyperextension. And so fingers crossed, dude, fingers crossed that we get him back sometime this season, at least in time for the playoffs. Let's hope. We haven't heard anything official yet, and I can promise you he's going to miss some time. But, if he's got full range of motion in his wrist and his hands and up here in his shoulder, then if he doesn't risk, if he gets it healing up well and he doesn't risk re-injuring it by putting a big old fat brace on it, dude, like I said, he's probably one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen. I would be shocked if he comes back with a brace on, especially, as this team hopefully continues to ascend to where we think they can go under year 2 under Harbaugh. And Khalil wants to be a part of that shit. So don't be shocked if we do see him back. And I really, really hope we do, because I don't know, I just don't know how we're going to fill that void. Bud is good. Bud is not Khalil. Thule, got no worries about Thule. Thule's a beast, and he's only going to keep getting better. He's so young. I'm going to be real interested in 2 other guys. Our 4th round draft pick, what's his name? Kennard, I believe it was.
Kyle Kennard.
Yeah, I'm going to see him start getting some reps and see what he's all about. And then that unrestricted free agent, Caleb Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Real interested. Let him get some reps. Let him get in there and spell these guys and see what he can do against first-string NFL talent. But we need to get those guys involved right now so that come the end of the season, they don't feel like rookies. They feel like, hey, I've seen live bullets, and they can help us as we make a playoff run, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's good, too, that personally, I think our interior D-line is better than it was last year already. And with Jamari Caldwell, Tier Tar, some of those guys, it's like last year, if we lost him, we would have been like even more. I would have been even more like, we might be like for sure cooked. but this year, we have some really good interior D-line guys. So, and I'm sorry, but not every NFL team that we're playing this year has an amazing interior D-line. So that's going to help us out because, Jamari and Tier are going to just come guns blazing. Those are some big boys.
And Hand.
So if they try to run out of the pocket, a QB.
Yeah, don't forget Hand, man.
Yeah, Deshaun Hand, too. Really, really good. He adds really good depth, in my opinion. But he's been killing it, too. I'm a big fan of Tier Tart, honestly.
After last week, how can you not?
Well, even last year, though, I would always say that to you guys, and you guys would bring up, like, Puna Ford more, and I was honestly not that sad that he was gone because we had Tier still, and everybody was kind of overshadowing it, I feel like, this offseason from what I was seeing. And from right now, he's been doing the job as perfect, maybe even a little better than Puna was last year. So you can't ask for anything better from that interior D-line right now. So makes it a little better when it comes to the overall picture of it.
Oh, interior D-line is massively important. Massively important. Again, it just amazes me how people can be fans of football for any length of time, other than this new wave of Swifties. But, anybody who's actually been an actual football fan who actually watches the game, how can you not understand the fundamentals of the trenches? It's not about the glamour positions of running backs and wide receivers and DBs. It's the trenches. It's the trenches determine the outcome of the game. And interior D-line, the edge rushers are the glamour line guys, but the guys inside doing the dirty work are the ones who allow those guys to get their fame and their big paychecks and let these linebackers get all those big tackle numbers that they get every season, because those guys are doing the dirty work. And yeah, I absolutely believe our interior D-line's better this year than last year because we have more quality players. Yeah, Puna might have been better than any of the guys we currently have, but we have more guys that are better than the lower guys that we had, if that makes any sense. So the overall quality of plays up because you had one guy and then all these other guys. Now kind of everybody's up here. And Caldwell, he showed last night. He flashed, right? That Rook came in and flashed a little bit. Watch that guy. He's going to be dangerous, dude. He's going to be one of those guys. You give him a couple years to work on his technique even more at the pros. He's going to be one of those guys from the interior, and I'm not going to call him, what was the guy on the Rams that was just an absolute beast all those years?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald or an Ndamukong Suh, and but watch out for this kid. He knows how to pass rush from the interior, which is super dangerous because quarterbacks need to be able to step up. So watch out for him. I think he's going to be a huge asset for us for years to come. And Khalil Mack, prayers go out to Khalil. He's an integral part of this team on the field, but just as much off the field. And the good thing is, knowing the kind of guy he is, he's going to be with the team every single day and continue to be a leader, even if he can't go out on Sundays and play. But hopefully we get him back soon. There's a reason we re-signed him and let Joey go. So we need to get him back on the field. So, we covered offense, covered defense. We continue to win the turnover battle, which is awesome. I mean, first play of the game, I love when games start that way. I still wish we would have gotten a damn touchdown. It would have made me feel more comfortable versus going, oh shit, you watch, that's going to come back to bite us. That we only got the 3 points instead of the 7. But we're being opportunistic, ball hawks, all those things that you want to see in a defense carrying over from last. Dude, how good is Tarheeb?
So good.
It is a great tackler. He does not shy away from contact. Man, the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, the last note I had.
I mean, we can go on about Unk too. Dude, he comes off the practice squad and he balls out.
Yeah, that was a statement pretty much being like, why did you put me on this in the first place? The kind of last thing I have on this game is was our DBs in general. They were killing it. I was a little worried because Elijah Molden wasn't in, and I was like, we'll see how that goes. But I love him, but not gonna lie, the way Tony played yesterday, it didn't make a difference. So Tony killed it. I'm pretty sure his name is Dante Jackson.
The guy we just signed. He's playing really good, dude.
Yeah, that was a great tip from Derwin, but that was just good eyes to see that. So he's playing like a vet, like we wanted him to. Cam had some pretty good hits too. I saw him get a little shaken up on one of them, so hopefully he'll be good. But he's always kind of been a little injury prone last year and even in his Notre Dame days. But I just love how their DBs were going. Alohi killed it too. Everybody.
First play of the game, he killed it, dude.
I'm like, so every single DB, in my opinion, had one play where everybody was talking about, and the announcers were like, whoa, everybody on the starting DBs had their moment in the game, in my opinion. Whether it was big or small, each one of them had a good play where I was like, whoa, dang, okay. So the only one I didn't see was St. Juice, but
St. Juice was out there getting some action. I read a stat today. I didn't go verify it, but I read a stat in a write-up about the Chargers game last night. that we tied an NFL record for 7 players having a pass breakup.
Yep, it's true.
7 different players having a PBU. And that's an NFL record. It's tied with another team, but that just shows you, man, these guys are swarming. They're flying to the ball. Yeah, just keep it up. That's the only thing we can say, right? Just keep it up. Just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe keep fine tuning and getting, just that much better week to week. And I think they've got room to do that, because there are new pieces to this puzzle between the D line and, the linebackers with injuries and the new pieces we added back in the backfield of the secondary. So, the only thing that really disappoints me, and they talked about it last night during the game, and fingers crossed again, put vibes out to the universe, man. They were talking about Jesse Mentors, people are going to come knocking on his door to be a head coach. And it's like, come on, man, just give us a couple seasons, a couple more seasons. He had a great first season. So far, things are looking good in the second season. Let us get at least like 4 seasons with the guy, before he heads off. So, quit talking about that. I don't want to hear about that anymore. Jesse's a Charger, and he needs to stay a Charger. And I know we're paying him big bucks. Harbaugh insisted on that for all of his guys that he brought over. So it shouldn't be a money thing. It's just going to be he wants to take the next step in his profession. And hopefully he doesn't feel like it's going to be a big, that it's a big rush, that he needs to go do it right now versus maybe get a couple Lombardis with the Bolts first.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just
nothing's wrong with like a Spagnola for the Chiefs. Like, come on now, you have your staple coordinators that just stay coordinators, and they make some good money still. What? There's a lot of those guys. I feel like the ratio is like 1-5 with every coordinator that goes to a head coach position. Few of them make it. So few of them. It's very rare.
Probably less than that. To be honest with you, Brennan, it's probably 1 in 10 or 1 in 20. I mean, think about all these coordinators that don't make it and then they get kicked back down. Yeah. We've got a game coming up in a couple weeks that I think I mentioned in 2 podcasts ago when I was doing the whole 2025 schedule prediction. Dable. I like Dable. I think he's a great coordinator. I'm not convinced he's a great head coach. We're going to go up against those guys here in 2 weeks. So, it'll be interesting to see. But, anything else on offense or defense?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered the high points. I'm sure there's some finer stuff down there that we could drill into, but nobody wants to hang out like it's the Joe Rogan experience for 3 hours. So we want to keep it somewhat manageable. Special teams, real quick, is a good all-around performance. Dicker nailed that really important kick when the holder or punter, J.K. Scott, muffed it a little bit. I don't know if you saw that. He actually muffed it, and I think it was the snap, which is the guy we had just signed because our long snapper's down. I think he snapped a little bit short. JK had to fumble a little bit, but Dicker still made it. And Dicker, our kicker, is the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
I love that.
Isn't that a refreshing change from the Anthony Lynn, Mike McCoy era of just complete and utter kicking incompetence?
Yep. Yeah. There's getting to be some new Charger fans here and there, but most of them are OGs. So if you're watching this, you guys understand that there was a couple seasons there where it was because of our special teams that we didn't win most of the games or we didn't make the playoffs.
Those close games, yeah.
Yep. Like I remember going through I don't even know what this kid's name was. Then Young Hoku, which most people know, and then 3 other kickers, and then we finally got Caleb Sturgis was his name, and then we got a couple others. Then finally we got I I forgot what his name was, but then we traded him once we got Dicker. So
Yeah. And
he was a really good kicker
he was
too.
a seasoned veteran. He was a good kicker, but he wasn't as good as Cam. And by the way, we also did have Nick Novak, who I love.
Yep.
And he was pretty good. Again, there's a reason Nick's not in the league anymore.
He had multiple tenors with us actually. So
Yeah.
He came up a couple times.
He's a guy that if you need a kicker that's going to come stabilize the position, he's got you, right? I mean, he's going to make 85% of his kicks. Dicker, dude, is like 99% or some shit. It's stupid crazy, 95%.
Yeah.
He just rarely misses. The kid's got his mojo. And whatever he does, don't mess with it. Let him be the goofy, laid back dude that he is, because it works for him. But just wanted to give a shout out to Cameron Dicker that congrats, dude. Keep it up. You are making us proud as Chargers fans, and not just proud, but you're calming us down just a notch or two, knowing that if there's a game on the line and you're coming up to kick the game winner, it's not the typical, trust me, I mean this when I say this. I would there were times I'd be like, I can't watch it. My wife would laugh at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. I can't watch, right? It's like a freaking 50-50 coin flip, it felt like. But with Cam, we're in really, really good hands. I'm so thrilled that when Harbaugh came on board, that he kept the special teams unit from the coach down, kept that unit intact. Because I'm sure he really wanted to bring his son with him as his special teams coordinator. But hats off to Harbaugh, going, no, this is not broken. We're not gonna try and fix it. So big time.
Yeah. Like our special teams coordinator is Ryan Ficken, right?
Ficken, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. So all the way down, we've had a couple. We've had the same guys for a couple of years now, which feels nice, and they're reliable. Obviously, Dicker, JK has a boot on him, which was nice because that was a couple of years ago. I don't know if people remember when we signed him. It was a very random sign because he was on the Packers, I remember, for a while when he was young with that even longer blonde hair, and then all of a sudden I saw him punting for us, and I was like, huh. And then as of the last couple of years, he's been really turning it on, in my opinion. He's been just a reliable guy. Nothing like crazy boots where he's breaking records, but his hang time is perfect. He gets it where it needs to be, and that's all you can ask for in a punter. So
yeah, his strength is probably more hang time than distance, which in the NFL,
if you have good gunners, I mean, that's awesome.
You need the hang time more than you need the distance. If they can't return it and it's a 45 or 50 yarder, that's better than, you boomed it 60, but they get a 20, 25 yard return every time, right? So, no, we're blessed because we've been through it. Now, we've had spurts where we've had really, really good special teams, going back to the Darren Bennett's and the John Carneys and, those days. But we've been in a drought for a while where, we were losing 7-8 games a year that were, 1, 2, 3 point games. And it's because our special teams just couldn't make that kick when they needed to, or we would miss a damn extra point every game, and it's like, oh shit, that 1 point's going to come back and bite us. So, blessed to have a really good special teams unit as well. You want to wrap up this Raiders game? I mean, I don't know how sweeter it can get than the Chiefs in week 1 and then beating the Raiders in their house in week 2, both of them primetime. I mean, as Chargers fans, it doesn't get any better. I mean, this is sweet. And we got the Donkeys in week 3.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Good game, good couple of games already. Like I said earlier, if we can get this, I guess segueing into this third game, I think it's gonna be a very, very hard game. It's gonna be a slugfest. Is what I'm trying to say. I think it's gonna be a pretty exciting game. I feel like last year both of those games were when we played them, and then this year I think it's gonna be the same. But if we can win and get 3 divisional wins in the start of the season, that's we're set up in the first 3 games that I have seen us in a very, very long time, and that's going to help us later on in the year. Trust me, when people are trying to pass us over in our division, but we have the same record, but we're 4-2 in the division. That's really going to help us out there because tiebreakers, division always is the tiebreaker there, so that's important.
Got to win those division games, man. And I like how Harbaugh approaches it. You've heard for years and years, coaches are like, oh, those are like a game and a half. Harbaugh's like, no, those are like 2 or 3 games. They're worth 2 or 3 games each because of all the different ways they affect how you win your division, get into the playoffs, your seeding, all of that. And so Harbaugh's like, no, those things weigh 3 games, right? This is going to be. It's going to be. If you go into any divisional game, I don't care how bad or good your division opponent is. If you go in thinking, oh, we're going to spank them, you're pretty naive football fan. Division games are almost always slugfests, back and forth. The teams know each other so well. There's a little animosity there. Even if the players, haven't been around for a long time and don't understand the actual rivalry, they still know it's a division game and they know how important the division games are. And so, you get just that little extra bit of juice in those games. I think the team we've got, if they continue to do what they've shown us so far, I think we get this game. I think the keys to the game for us, and, they're always kind of the key, same things. If we can keep Bo Nix in the pocket and make him beat us with his arm, and we shut down the running game, a.k.a. J.K. Dobbins, which I like J.K., just not when he's playing against us. I wish we'd kept him, to be honest. The whole offseason waiting for us to re-sign him. I like him a lot. I think he's a great dude, but he's the enemy now. Okay, so shut his ass down. Keep Nix in the pocket. Make him beat us with his arm, have our defense do what they've continuing to do, pressure, ball hawk. I think we can turn him over a couple times. He threw up a couple this past weekend, and then we don't have to put up 40 or 50 if our defense keeps doing what they're doing. We can put up our 20, 24, 27, 28, and easily walk out of there with a victory. But, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot, which, Harbaugh teams are known for not doing that. And so that's why I think we've got a really, really good chance. While it's not going to be an easy game, it's a division game. I think we've got a really good chance of coming out of week 3, 3-0 with 3 huge division wins to start the season.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a doable game. I mean, what I take from this is they're very similar to us in the way they got a veteran coach last year, just like us. They're in year 2 of the same pretty much players and coaching staff, besides JK and a couple others. And now they're getting stuff rolling with that regimen from last year again. So, however, we did beat them both times last year, and one of them was a comeback. So, and the thing is I think we have gotten better from what we were last year compared to them. I think they've gotten better, but I think we've gotten a little better compared to last year than they were last year. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think the keys for me are Justin cannot throw it to PS2. He cannot throw it to Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain got beat actually a couple times last week. I saw a tweet about it or something, but he's the reigning defensive player of the year. So, and they're gonna put him on our best receivers. However, with our three,
take your pick.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. So, what I was trying to get with that is he can't throw it to him, but use that to your advantage. Whoever he's on, you got two other really great options. I wouldn't even say two, I'd say four, because you have the back and you can have Conklin, or Disley, either or. So I feel like if you kind of just avoid him to a certain extent, unless someone burns him, I think you still have plenty of opportunities with plenty of other weapons. And then the last takeaway is if you make Bo Nix flustered and rush in the pocket, he will throw a pick. It is almost guaranteed with Bo Nix. Almost guaranteed. Excuse me. But compared to last year too, people realize he was having a really rough early first couple games. Maybe that's just the type of player he is. Or he's trying to get through that, and the next couple years it'll be a little better. But he had a rough couple games last year. He didn't get quite going until the middle of the season. So maybe that's this year too. So if we just rush him, get as much pressure as we can on him, I think those takeaways are gonna come, especially how our defense and our DBs have been playing.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily sacks, right? It's pressure. Keep him in the pocket, and then with we were talking about it on the Raiders game about our interior defensive line. If our interior defensive line can get a push up the middle, as long as the edges can protect him, because he's got some legs on him, he can definitely scramble around. Keep him in the pocket, push up the middle. Yeah, he's going to throw us a couple. And regarding Patrick Surtain, I don't know if I've ever seen Justin shy away from any DB. I can trust his arm so much that if he sees the guy open, he's throwing it. And as long as we have Keenan and Ladd on the field at the same time, I don't care who you get defending those guys. Patrick Surtain cannot clone himself or split himself in two and guard both of them. So they're running games that these guys are going to be going like, in those Bugs Bunny commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
Where did they go? And the next thing you know, they maybe leave both of them open because it's like, oh, I thought you had him. Oh, I thought you had him. Well, I thought you had him, right? So the more G-Row has those guys on the field simultaneously, they're going to eat, and then we touched on it. QJ is going to eat because they're going to be so worried about Ladd and Keenan. They're going to be like, oh, this QJ guy. I mean, who's he, right?
Yeah.
He's like the leading touchdown scorer of the Chargers, believe it or not. And he was last season too with his 8 touchdowns. So it's a nice place to be considering the dearth of receiver talent that we had last year. Between QJ not really coming into his own, but starting to, and really kind of only having Ladd, even though I don't want to dismiss Josh Palmer, but was Josh a difference maker? No, I think he's a guy who's just kind of keeping the seat warm until somebody else could come in. Obviously that's why Josh isn't here anymore. And then we got to get our tight ends more involved. The tight end is a magical position. I mean, it's one of those positions that is just that tweener that, okay, are they catching or are they blocking? And so they can really be that wild card for defenses. And we've used Disley and really, since we've had him last season and now we've used him really well because, he was a good receiving tight end, but he wasn't great. Blocking was his forte, but he's proven to be a very reliable pass-catching tight end. And then Conklin, let's get that boy going because I really think he adds a whole another dimension to the offense. So like to see him get going. They have not, the first 2 weeks, activated Gadsden or Rondé. So he's not getting any live fire yet because I think they want to have, Tuck? No, I think Fisk has been out, Tucker Fisk. But they got Matlock and, so they've had other positions that were more important, probably linebacker with the injuries there too. So they've kept Gadsden inactive. but they need to get the wide receiver position going. And it'll be interesting to see how they attack this Denver defense. Do they keep slinging it, or do they start stacking up and bringing the big boys downhill? I'll be real interested to see how they game plan against this defense. It's a very good defense, but I think their strength, despite Nick Bonito getting a big fat contract, I think their strength is their secondary much more so than their front seven.
Yeah, so I think you said it well. I think the only how would I preface this? I guess like I would say he did get a really big contract, Nick Bonito, and their secondary is definitely by far their biggest is their forte, but I don't see us running or making a switch that fast. I think we're still going to bring it in the passing game. Personally, I think we're going to see it more, the running more, because you're going to see Najee get a little more, and I think they're going to start making adjustments faster because they don't want what happened last year to happen this year, having a little lackluster run game. So I think we are going to still be a primarily pass, because I always say every single podcast, if it's not broken, why fix it? And it's been working really well for us. So I think we're going to keep up the pass, but I think we're going to run a little more.
I suspect so. The question is, are we going to pass it to set up the run? Right?
Yeah.
Which I could see after the first 2 weeks, I could see him doing that, right? Is use the pass to set up the run. But you just never know. You know, a lot of people last season like to talk smack about G-Row. But in every exception except Michigan, I believe G-Row has always been Harbaugh's offensive coordinator. I could be wrong on that, but I have to go back to, well, and maybe he wasn't at UC San Diego, but at Stanford and San Francisco, he was his own offensive coordinator. I don't think G-Row's going anywhere, and I think G-Row's only going to get better as he continues to learn this personnel, and the personnel learns him. And I got no problem with that. G-Row's proven. I mean, heck, look what he did for Lamar in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I got no problem with G-Row. I think he's super creative. I think he can pass it. I think he can run it. I think he can mix it. By the way, don't ever do friggin' RPO jet sweep ever again. Never, ever, especially when the game's on the line. Okay, don't. G-Row, don't do that jet sweep RPO. That was horrible, dude. We look like a friggin' Pop Warner team. Don't do that again. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I have to bring up, I know it's early, and I know I'm a big Chargers fan, but is Joe Alt the best offensive lineman in the league, only in his second season? I'd be hard-pressed to say he's not the best offensive lineman in the league. The kid just shuts down his side, just shuts it down. Period.
Yeah, it's not even like this year he's gotten even better, and I didn't even think that was possible. So he's killing it. It's looking like those guys that were really pissed that we picked a lineman at number 5, or they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot now, or so they're kind of.
They're Joe Alt fans now.
Yeah, they should be, because it looked like a really good pick, regardless.
He's insanely awesome, and I thought about this when Rashawn went down. I'm like, does Rashawn get the left side back when he comes back?
That's because Joe Alt just too locked down.
It's the only side he's ever played where we made the transition with Alt. He was a great right tackle, but he is so freaking good. I'm glad I'm not the head coach and have to make those decisions, but I could see them going, this kid's lockdown, dude. It's his position now. You got to go do the right side. I could see a world where that exists. Joe's been,
We'll see after that big contract, though.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Joe's going to get a bigger one when his time comes.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I was really excited this season, like probably more excited than I've been about a lot of things in a long time. I was really excited to see Mekhi Becton and Joe All side by side, road grading defenses. I mean, just manhandling these guys. Between those two guys, if I was a defensive player, either a guard or a tackle or a defensive end, I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm just going to go sit on the bench or stay in the locker room. There's not a point, why even suit up? But we're going to have to wait a season at least to see those two play together. I think we signed Mekhi to 2 years, didn't we? I think we signed him to 2.
I think he was like one of the only people we signed to a multi-year contract.
Yeah. Ortiz has been doing 1 year for everybody, but I think we got Mekhi for 2. And don't be shocked if they re-up him in this offseason. It sounds like not only has he been good at playing his position, but he's fit right in with the boys, and he's just been a stellar guy, in the room, the O-line room, and just period with the whole team. He's definitely a team player and fits in with the rest of the guys. So, but I just had to put that out there. I mean, how impressive is Joe All? Goes back over the left side, and the last 2 weeks, dude, he's just shutting it down. Shutting it down. Very impressive. So with that being said, you got anything to add to this Denver game?
No, I think we covered most of it. It's pretty much the same Denver team from last year, and you guys heard us talk about it 2 times last year. So, yeah, I think if we just keep doing what we've been doing and keep our focus up and, just stick to the plan, and think we're going to win. So
nice. Okay. So the next segment, if you will, as we go into kind of predicting the game. But first, let's talk about the Raider game. I'm going to give you the edge. I think you were a little bit closer than I was. We both picked the Chargers to win, and you revised your pick from your full 2025 list after seeing us beat the Chiefs. You're like, okay, I'm gonna flip on this one. I think we're gonna win it, and you were right. Yeah. And I thought we were gonna win it, and I continued to think we were gonna win it, just because I can't see us losing to a Geno Smith run team. Which, by the way, how beautiful was that at the end of the game to see Geno sitting on the sidelines, just like ready to cry? It looked like after throwing 3 picks. It's a thing of beauty. Last week you picked us to win 28-10. I picked us to win 27-13. So if you take the miss on the high side and take the miss on the low side, I think you got me by 2 points because it was 20-9. So I'll give you this one. You got it this week. And because you got it this week, I'm going to put you on the spot for the Donkeys game. You get to go first.
I've been thinking about it the last 5 minutes.
I bet you have.
And if I remember correctly, I need to go back and watch it to see, or write it down, because I don't remember fully the win-loss that I had. But I'm going to, I think I said Chargers last time, and I'm going to say Chargers this time, and I'm saying 21-17.
Chargers 21.
Yep. Donkeys 17.
17 Donkeys. All right. I could see that. I can see that. If it's a really tough back and forth battle, I definitely can see that. I think it's going to be a tough battle for the first 2.5 or 3 quarters, but I think we're going to wear them down, and we'll probably stretch it a little bit in the fourth quarter. So I'm going 27-21. I'm going to give the Broncos, the Donkeys, a little bit more than you. against our defense, which I shouldn't do because our defense has been playing awesome. But I'll give them a little bit of benefit here, along with Sean Payton and his play calling. But I still think we're going to, come out with a little bit more room, a little margin for error as we wrap it up. So I'm going 27-21. So that's it. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Brennan, glad to have you here finally, my friend. Looking forward to this season, hanging with you, talking bolts, hanging with you guys, talking bolts, especially if we keep racking up these wins. It's always more fun to be hanging out, talking Chargers when we put some W's up, especially when we're putting the W's up against our division rivals. So looking forward to us coming out with another W and being 3-0 against the Donkeys. We will be back next week to cover the game against the Broncos and then to preview the next week's game, week 4, which, if I'm not mistaken, that is a road game. We're flying all the way across the country to take on the New York Giants. So we'll be back to preview that game as well. But otherwise, that's it for another episode of Chargers Cast. Appreciate you guys a bunch. If you haven't done so already, give us a like, give us a follow, throw some comments in. We'd love to get comments from you guys as well. And if you haven't done so already, go check Brennan out on his social media at chargers.district. And you can find us also not only on YouTube, where you'll find all these episodes, but you can also find us on Instagram at ChargersCast as well. So, Brennan, we're 2-0, 2 division wins on the road, primetime games, statement games, and we've got a week 3, even though it's not a primetime game, it's a division game. And quite frankly, if we can come out of these 3 games 3-0, I do believe the Chargers are going to make a statement. I mean, people are already kind of starting to jump on the bandwagon, and it's real early in the season. But if we get the 3rd division win, I would say it's another statement win. So at 2-0, who's got it better than us?
Nobody,
baby. Bolt up, guys. We'll see you next week. Hi, I'm Kirk Brewer, the creator and host of ChargersCast. I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of ChargersCast. We really appreciate you engaging with the podcast. When I created ChargersCast, it was intended to be a podcast about everything Los Angeles Chargers from a fan perspective. It's by fans and for fans. So it's for you, and we really appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so already, please go down below, leave a comment, give us some feedback. We really love to hear from you. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and click the little bell so that you get notifications when new content drops. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to ChargersCast. And who's got it better than us? Nobody.